125, take one marker.
This is Direct Response Marketing Mastery, where 3 decades of proven experience has launched products, built brands, and generated profits. These are the stories behind the businesses that have been built.
We needed to work with a group that was really going to understand what it was about our service that was unique and why our members loved it.
Response television is such a better value to anybody doing product.
You get immediate results from your advertising, and that's what makes it work.
It has scaled our business beyond what we thought we would do this holiday season.
The only way to kickstart your business beyond what you think your expectations would have been anyway.
Script to Screen and M2 are as concerned about your product being successful as you are.
We want to deal with successful companies, and Script to Screen is certainly a successful company.
How do you reach more customers and continue to build your business as a successful e-commerce company? By adding television to your marketing mix.
We, for sure, would not have met our Q4 goals this year without TV. It absolutely got us over, and we actually exceeded our goals.
My guest today is CEO and co-founder of Little Passports, Amy Norman. Little Passports is a children's learning and adventure experience that is enriching the lives of children around the world. We discussed the incredible impact TV has had on her business, her concerns to adding TV to their marketing mix, and the importance of the right team to help her company reach its goals.
Our big win that we've told everybody this year is that we found that new marketing channel and hit it out of the park right away with TV.
We had a great conversation at their offices in San Francisco that any e-commerce business will find fascinating and truly beneficial. Tell me a little bit about your life, your business life before Little Passports,
Sure.
and how that was a building block to maybe where you are today.
You could call me an accidental entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Or that Silicon Valley has an osmosis to it. You get here and you have to start something or run a marathon. It just happened. It happened to me.
And have a Prius.
I don't have a Prius, but I have run a marathon now that I moved here and started a business. Before Little Passports, I had a business more in finance and strategy. I had spent my early career working as a CPA. I worked in finance, valuing companies, and then I went over and did strategy work, helping companies decide where to take their business. And then I finally gained my operating experience at eBay, where I ran the jewelry and watch business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you and Stella met at eBay.
We did.
And said, watches are great, but how are we going to change the world? Is that kind of what happened?
It is kind of what happens. I think one of the great things about living in California is that there are so many people around you starting businesses, and therefore it allows you to believe it's possible for you to do it too. But yes, we wanted to do something that we felt was having a really positive impact on the world. We didn't want to just go out and sell something else that you could buy somewhere else.
Right. Something that had some more tangible meaning besides something that you just stick on your body.
And where there was a real need. If
Right.
you want to educate your kids about the world today, you have very few options. You can buy a puzzle, which is very one-dimensional. You can watch a cartoon, which is not interactive. Mm-hmm. But there really aren't a lot of options.
How did you start? Where did the idea come from to make this subscription-based business? I mean, educating kids is one thing, but this is, you built out a whole different model.
Well, there was another love that we had besides global citizenship, not quite as noble.
Yeah.
the joy of opening a present on Christmas morning. The joy, I used to live in Manhattan, and I would go to the grocery store and pick up my food, and then it would get delivered to my apartment. I had literally seen it 10 minutes earlier, and yet I was still excited to open up the box. And so we remembered, and this was before Birchbox and all the other subscription boxes launched, but we remembered the joy as children of receiving mail. And we thought, why kids love characters, and all of our subscriptions have characters in them. And we thought, why not make this a story about two characters, Sam and Sophia, who are traveling to a new place every month, and from that place they're sending a package in the postal mail. So a subscription mailing each month tied in with our concept of these characters visiting the world. And that's why we decided to launch a subscription.
Oh.
Then we had to figure out what to put in it.
Then you had to figure out how to do it. You got a great idea, now you got to figure out how to do it.
And that's people come along all the time saying, oh, I had that idea, or I wish I'd had that idea. Right. And the idea is about 1% of it.
Yeah.
Stella Ma is my co-founder, and we met working at eBay. We were running different businesses, and we were also having children at the same time. And we were best friends. Mm-hmm. We both realized very quickly that we wanted to stay in the workforce. But now, to leave babies at home, it was even more important that what we did every day we felt really proud of, and that we could see the results of the work we do. It had to be measurable.
Right.
And so we thought, well, why don't we start a business? Mm-hmm. It's really clear that that's, something that we built, but what to do to make it something we feel proud of? We realized quickly and very early on that we had a shared passion around global citizenship. We wanted to educate kids about the world and help them realize that differences amongst us are positives, mm-hmm. not negatives. We own this tremendous company together. I mean, mm-hmm. it's a huge asset to own together, and we've really built this company and our relationship on trust.
Well, I can attest to that about building your relationship on trust, because we have that same trust in each other. Because when we started shooting this commercial, you and Stella and Robin and the team were like, okay, whatever you think is right. We don't know this business, but whatever you think is right. And that was great for us because it allowed us to really guide and direct you, and you guys mm-hmm. trusted us to do that. Mm-hmm. So I just want to acknowledge you for that and thank you for that, because it turned out well for both of us.
Well, you proved that we made the right decision. We don't know anything about TV, and I think the hardest thing for us when we came to you was that TV was a complete unknown. I mean, I oversee our marketing efforts, but I have no background in marketing and TV in particular. At the time, nobody on our team had TV background, so we were coming to you really blind.
Lambs,
right? But we knew that. And we knew that we had to keep the brand image so squeaky clean. We have and that was our huge concern, was how do we make this look and feel as premium as we develop in-house, right. and you guys knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. Well, I think what you're saying is what a lot of people who may be watching this are thinking the same thing, CEOs and marketing managers and CMOs. They're like, well, I don't want that schlocky
You said
infomercial.
It, not me. You said it, not me.
I get it.
Yeah, that's
right?
what we were worried
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because that's a concern.
Yes. Okay. So okay. Now that you've put it on the table, that is absolutely what we were scared about. I mean, it's a premium brand. And when we looked at different direct response ads that are out there, they looked a little hokey to us.
Right.
We felt like we might be downgrading the quality of our brand. And that was a huge concern. And so we spent a ton of time up front kind of saying, we really, we want a really nice house to shoot this in. We want the clothes to look nice. And we tried to use different examples like that, but got a sense early on that you guys got it. Right. And so what we've learned is that direct response doesn't have to mean schlocky. It just means there's a call to action at the end.
You're a startup. There's a limited budget and what we can do, but it had to prove itself. Once there's an ROI and it proves itself, then it opened up the gates for you to say, okay, this is really something that we can really maximize on our marketing mix, right? And that's kind of what's happened. Tell me about that journey since from just Facebook to television and what a difference that's made in your business.
Yeah, we've shipped well over 1 million packages by now. That means that more than 1 million moments have been created where children are learning about cultural traditions, Shinto wish shrines in Japan, or they're learning about the Egyptian monuments. So there's moments like that. The other one is certainly we can measure sales. So we can say, unlike when you're in a really big company and you're a cog in a wheel, you say, okay, that was my role, but how did I impact sales? How did I move the business forward? In this job, I know every day what I've done to help further our sales and grow our business. So our internal metrics are very measurable, but more importantly, I know that I'm indispensable here.
Right.
Whereas that wasn't always clear to me in a big company.
TV was a little daunting. Didn't know anything about
it.
So let's set the stage, because a lot of people who are going to be hearing this podcast or seeing this are either startups little apprehensive about television, little apprehensive about direct response, don't know what's going to happen. It's out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Tell me about all those concerns that you had and how we helped you overcome that, and what has been happening since you've interjected TV into your marketing mix.
Sure. So the primary concern, so as a startup, you're always worried about cash.
Right.
You have to make sure you have enough cash to keep the business going. And TV has long been a dream, but been a very daunting one that didn't seem like we were anywhere near reaching, because what we had heard was you had to spend $250,000 or up. You know, you have to develop the piece, and then you have to actually spend money on advertising. And so that spend, I mean, for sure, a startup at the beginning, it's still probably not the right solution for, your very first marketing mix.
Right.
But once you get to a decent size and you've found that other marketing channels have worked, and you know who your target audience is and how to market to them, and you're looking to really scale, that's where TV really comes in. We, for sure, would not have met our Q4 goals this year without TV. It absolutely got us over, and we actually exceeded our goals. Wow. And hit it out of the park right away with TV. So the first concern was just the capital required to go in. And that one we addressed. You know, we brought up our concerns really early with you, and felt like you guys were really flexible on working with us and understanding what our needs were and how scary this was to us.
Yeah. So tell me about what you went through to get over those concerns, how we helped you navigate through that, and what has television meant to your business since then.
I have to say, the first thing that helped get me over the hurdle was a very strong recommendation. So I had gone around and done a lot of research on the internet, and we had inbound proposals, and I almost moved forward with them, and I just got the jitters, and so I started reaching into my personal network, and you guys were recommended, and so honestly, that got me a long way along the road to feeling comfortable. I think the other thing was through our conversations, I felt like you were willing to take on some of the risk with us, and that was critical, and you did. And that told me two things. It told me, one, that you understood where I was coming from, but told me, two, that you believed in me. And you know TV, and if you believed in me, that made me believe in me more. So that was helpful.
Good. So we put together a great commercial, and it worked out well for you. And like I say, it wasn't all us. I mean, it was a team effort. Everyone at Little Passports, everybody at Script to Screen. It really was fun for us, because now we get to see what it's doing for you, and that makes us feel good. And then we have this nice relationship, and we're going to do things in the future somehow, some way. So you launched television. So talk about where your business was, and the importance of scalability, because you were talking about there's a ceiling that you could hit. It does well, but you had to get outside to fill that funnel more. Tell me how television affected that.
So as soon as we started advertising on TV, we saw an overall lift in our business. Is
it measurable lift? What was it?
Yes, it was measurable. We could look at, so TV, unlike digital advertising like Facebook, Facebook digital, you can directly track someone's movement to your website. On TV, you can't, it's not that measurable in that way, but what you can see is you can compare day to day and say, well, I wasn't advertising on, before I started advertising on TV, here's the kind of sales I did every day. And then afterwards, it moved up by this. You can also look at the time of day. There are actually a lot of things you can do. We created landing pages so that traffic came directly to our landing page. We could see that spike during different segments. We could look at the time of day that people ordered. And so TV is more measurable than people say.
Right.
We also do have a section of our website where you can say where you heard about us, and a huge percentage of our customers use that. And so we could see our write-in orders that said, TV was our source. And so just from those, we were, it took about a week lag, but then on week 2, we were doing great.
Right. But you talked about how you were getting a little bit about you're doing well on Facebook, but you had to scale.
Yes.
In a small business like this that's growing, you have to scale. And plus, you've got a board and you've got investors. You got to answer to those.
A lot of pressure.
So you got to scale, and television helped you meet some numbers. Correct? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So our biggest challenge, I would say, There's been two. One is
Okay.
is having capital grow the business, but two is finding that marketable, that scalable marketing channel. How can we, it's one thing to find a channel where you're acquiring customers for a really strong cost to acquire, but it's, you're not going to ever really get anywhere. You need that scalable source. And for us, for a long time, it was Facebook, and that got us here. But then to keep growing, you're just not you need to get a wider population base. And so TV's absolutely done that for us. And so we went back to our board and to our investors. Our big win that we've told everybody this year is that we found that new marketing channel.
Wow.
TV.
And you were saying that if it wasn't for television, and you may have not have made your fourth quarter numbers, right? That's really measurable when business people hear that.
That is true. If we had not advertised on TV, we would have come in short of where we needed to be. Facebook, from a cost perspective, was still working really nicely for us, but we wanted to keep scaling, and so TV lifted the whole business. And we actually saw people. It helped Facebook too.
Yeah.
When you're in multiple channels, you could see people write in, "Oh, I saw you on Facebook and on TV."
Now, I'm now credibility, right?
That's just the word I was going to use, right? When people start to see you in multiple places, it gives you credibility.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can definitely tell that you reached outside of your customer base on digital, and you brought in new customers into the funnel.
That's right. New customers. I mean, we have, grandmas that are not on Facebook. We have people in different parts of the country that are not, they're just not Facebook users, and we were able to access them that way. We saw actually some men purchasing, which was new for us as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What would you say to other companies like yourself, e-commerce companies, or just companies in general, about direct response and why it might be beneficial to look into?
Okay. I think the first thing is to put aside the notion that TV is exorbitantly expensive and just to find out whether it works. That doesn't have to be true. We found a way to test TV that was palatable for us, that we could afford to have it not work. You can work with, so I think the other thing is that take away the notion that TV has to be, you have this binary choice, which is branded advertising or direct response, which is schlocky. So like this false notion that it's branded and premium or direct and schlocky. That is not true. Like, we just did direct and premium feel. And for a lot of e-commerce companies or smaller companies, you are still living in the world of direct response advertising, whether it's digital or TV or whatever it is. You're not ready to just do a brand exercise. And so for us, we were able to do that premium direct response TV and get that call to action and do it in an affordable way.
Awesome. And it's been extremely beneficial for you, right?
Yes, it has. It scaled our business. We met our goals. And more importantly than meeting our Q4 goals, we are super excited about 2016 and the scale we can bring to the business.
Awesome. But what would you say that was, that really that we hit it off with you, and why would you recommend someone working with us if you feel that way?
No, never. Just kidding. Definitely recommend working with you. I think for us, when we pick all of our vendors, we have to think that we can trust them. So the core values that we have inside our own company have to be true for the people we work with. And so some of our core values are absolutely trust and then results oriented. And so when we met you guys, immediately we shared our personal stories and we felt this connection, and we felt like little I tell my vendors when I start working with them, this is my baby. But it's not just my emotional baby. It is my children's financial future. It is everything. It has to be held as gently as I hold it. And I got the sense from you guys that you would care as much and put the same level of time and energy into it, and you did. And the other thing is that you just really knew the business. That was clear. And then you showed up on set, Ken. Like you were there the whole weekend. We're like you made us know that you cared about our project and us the whole way.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, it was a pleasure. I love working with people I like to work with and continue in the future. So tell me a little bit.
We're lucky we found you.
Thank you. Like you said earlier, people saw you on Facebook, and then they saw you on television, and that combination created credibility, which opened up the floodgates in a way, right?
Absolutely, and we were able to target our Facebook ads at the channels we were advertising on.
Yeah.
So we made sure that we could complement things, and it did create this lift that we were expecting.
The other thing about Facebook, and what I was really excited about when we first started talking, was you had a proof of concept. You knew exactly who you're going to go after, and when that information comes to us, it makes our job that much easier, because a lot of times we're trying to figure out who we're trying to get to on television, and the difference is in direct response is we're not buying eyeballs, we're buying outcomes. I don't care how many eyeballs we get. I care about the outcomes.
Yeah.
So the more I know about your customer, I can focus our message together, like we did in the commercial, and now we can go right for the eyeballs that we want that are going to give us the outcomes. So that's the difference. So having a proof of concept is really what you had, right?
We did. We knew from 6 years of being in business who our customers were exactly, both from Facebook and just from having done customer research.
So last question I have for you, Amy, is when you combine what you've done in direct response, and you've never done any television before, never done DRTV before, and you added that to your marketing mix of your e-commerce business, how has that affected your business?
It has scaled our business beyond what we thought we would do this holiday season, and it's given us incredible hope about the future. We thought going into this that it was going to be a total test, it was not going to be ROI positive, and immediately we were in a CPA range that worked for us, so we ended up spending more than we had anticipated, and we wish the holidays had gone on longer. We could have kept spending. It was fantastic.
Awesome. So then not only did we do the commercials for television, we did some cut down versions, and we did the video on Facebook. Tell me about how the video on Facebook worked for you.
The video is up right now, Ken. It's still going.
I know that.
So the video was great. Facebook is really pushing video right now,
Right.
and we put the videos up on Facebook, and they also work really well to engage our customers and to convert into sales. Video is great on both platforms.
Last bit of advice that you would give to a company that is looking about adding DRTV to their overall marketing mix, whether they're just an e-commerce business or not, what would it be?
Definitely consider it. Don't think that it's out of your reach financially or marketing image. You should definitely try it. It worked really well for us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, I want to acknowledge you and Stella for making such a wonderful product, for being wonderful partners throughout this ride together, and how we've been able to share each other's knowledge and expertise, and really help each other. And I want to acknowledge you for the difference you're making in the world for our children. I mean, that at the end of the day, I think you realize that it's not about how many Little Passport subscriptions that you've sold, but how many lives you changed, right?
That's right. And we changed more lives because of you. So thank you.
Thank you. So what's the best way to get a hold of you and Little Passports and your team here at Little Passports?
Definitely through our website, littlepassports.com. You can go straight to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, we're everywhere. So, and our customer support team is always willing to hear and happy to hear from everybody. Support at littlepassports.com.
Last thing I want to say, I forgot to say this, and it's really important, is that when we were talking to your actual customers that bought Little Passports, and we were interviewing them for testimonials for this, I can't tell you how extremely happy they are with the product, how they were being treated by Little Passports, the customer service they got. So kudos to you guys and your team, because your customers love you guys.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And we love them. You can't build a brand without having really happy customers.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It was great to
Awesome.
see you.